Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second part of section 8.5, using the distributive property. We're going to begin today's video with two review problems from the last video. So we're going to start with number one, and we're asked to factor both of these problems. Remember, when we're asked to factor, make sure that we go to each term to see what we can take out. What numbers can we take out? Can we take out any numbers from our three terms? No, we cannot. So the next thing we have to go to is the u's. Can we take out any u's? Yes, I can take out one u from all of them. And is there anything else? I have a couple t's there, a couple there, and one there. So I can take out another t. Now, remember, when you are factoring out, it's like we are dividing out that u and t. So I'm going to bring down the 7. U squared divided by u is just 1u. T squared divided by t is just 1t. Bring down my plus sign. 21 I get to bring down. U divided by u is 1. I'm not going to put that down. T squared divided by t is just t. Bring down my minus. Ut divided by ut is just 1. And so now here is your solution for number 1. Now looking at number 2. Again, the first thing we want to do, can we take out a like term out of everything that we have in this polynomial? I have a 3p, 2p squared, so far I can take out a p, 18p, so far I can take out a p, but now I'm at 27, so I can't take out a p. So how do we do this? Well, let's go ahead and group it. And now be very careful where you group this, because I'm going to group that negative sign with that 18 and put a plus right there. So if you wanted to rewrite it, you can as 3p minus 2p, that's squared, and then plus in the middle, negative 18p plus 27. So now let's factor each of them individually. What can I take out of here? I can take out a p, bring down everything I didn't use, so 3p divided by p, I brought down my 3, 2p squared, I bring down my number, p squared divided by p, I still have p. Now it's going to be plus. What can I take out of here? Well, I want to have a negative 2p, so I'm going to leave the p negative and just take out what goes into 18 and 27. I'm just going to take out a lonely 9. And so now I have negative 18 divided by 9, which is negative 2p. 27 divided by 9, which is plus 3. Now, is this guy the same as this guy? Well, look where the negative is. The negative is in front of the 2p. This guy could be rewritten as 3 minus 2p, right, without changing anything. So yes, they are the same. So since we have two factors, I'm going to take it out, put it right there to get 3 minus 2p. And then what didn't I use? P and the plus 9. So now I have p plus 9 also in my answer. Now we're going to move on to a vocab word, the zero product property. And it states, if the product of two factors is 0, then at least one of the factors must be 0. So for example, 3 times 0, this is 0 because one of the factors had to be 0. How about 0 times negative 234? That is 0 because one of the factors, something that we multiplied by, is 0. And then 0 times a decimal is still 0. So if it equals 0, one of the factors must be 0. So how does this apply to us? Take a look at number 3. We have two things being multiplied together. This times this equals 0. So now, since the zero product property states the product of two factors is 0, then at least one of those factors has to be 0. So what I'm going to do, this is one factor of my product. So I'm going to take 2d plus 6 and set it equal to 0 because I'm stating that 2d plus 6 might equal 0. What else could equal 0 from this problem? It could also be 3d minus 15 could equal 0. Now once you set up these problems, all we have to do is solve for a variable. So how do we do that? Get the 6 away from the d, or away from the variable. So now we have 2d equals negative 6. How do we get that 2 away? We divide both sides by 2, divide both sides by 2. So now D equals -3. And now we're looking at the blue guy. Same thing, we add the 15 over, so it's 3D equals 15. Divide by the D, divide by 3, so D equals a 5. So now your solutions, you'll actually have solutions with an equal sign. Your solutions are -3 and 5. Take a peek at number 4. Our two factors, here and here. So let's set them both to 0. 3n equals 0. And n plus 2 equals 0. We solve for both. 3n equals 0. How do we solve? We divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by 3. So n equals 0. 0 divided by 3 is 0. And now for the blue guy, we subtract 2 to the other side, so n equals a -2. So now our solutions are -2 and 0. Now let's try a couple more. With number 5, now we do not have the products together. We do not know our factors, but what can we do? Well, we can use our favorite F word and we can factor. So, looking at our numbers, can we take any like terms out of the numbers? Yes, you can. Hopefully we realize that it's an 8. How about letters? Can we take any letters out? Yes, we can take 1b out. So now inside the parentheses, that leaves us 8 divided by 8 is 1. B squared divided by b is just a b, so I'm going to put that b down. Minus 40 divided by 8 is 5. B divided by b is 1. I'm not going to put that down. That equals 0. So now what do I have? I have a product right here of 8b that could possibly be 0, right? From the 0 product property. So it's 8b equals 0. And also I have b minus 5. So I have b minus 5 equals 0. Solving for b. Divide both sides by 8. So b equals 0. Adding 5 to the other side. So b equals 5. Now how about in number 6? Here we do not have anything that equals 0. Well, can we get our y's to the same side to equal 0? Well, what if I subtract 4y from both sides? Now we have 0 equals 12y squared minus 4y. Because 4y minus 4y is 0, and now I have all my y's on the same side. Well, doesn't this problem just turn into something like this? Absolutely, 0 is just on the other side. Let's see if we can factor. Again, looking at your numbers, what can we take out? I see that I have a 12 and a 4. I know that 4 goes into both. How about our variables? Yes, a y goes into both. Now 12 divided by 4 is 3. I'm putting that in the parentheses. Y squared divided by y is y. I'm also putting that in parentheses, minus 1. What's that equal? 0. Again, I have two factors, and so I have 4y equals 0. Here, if I'm solving for y, we divide by 4, correct? So 0 divided by 4 is still 0. How about here? We have 3y minus 1 equals 0. Add the 1 over now because we're solving for y. 3y equals 1. Divide by 3. Y equals 1/3. So now our two solutions are 1/3 and 0. Let's try one more example, and it's everybody's favorite. It's a word problem. Very first thing we have to do is to read it so we understand. A football is kicked into the air. The height of the football can be modeled by the equation. When they give you an equation in a word problem, it's probably important where h, now it's telling us what h is. H is the height. Okay, awesome. Reached by the ball after x seconds. So find the values of x when h equals 0. That's another big key. We're asked to find the values of x when h is 0. Well, where am I going to put this 0? I'm going to put it in, you guessed it, in for h. So we go 0 equals a -16x squared plus 16x. Does this look like something that we have seen before? Yes, because it equals 0. All we have to do is factor this and then solve. So let's do that. I'm going to take just a positive 16 out, positive 16 and 1x. Now in my parentheses, negative 16 divided by negative 16 divided by 16 is negative 1. X squared divided by x is x. 16x divided by 16x is just plus 1. Close it up. Set it equal to 0. Now I have 16x. I have two products. I have 16x equal to 0, and I also have negative x plus 1 equals to 0. Now we can solve for both. So here I subtract a 1 over, so I have negative x equals negative 1. Divide by negative, x equals 1. How about the blue guy? I can divide by 16, so x equals 0. And so now my values for x would be 0 and 1. And now one more. What is the height of the ball after 0.5 seconds? Well, what am I going to do with 0.5 seconds and this equation? Well, I see an x. What is x measured in? X seconds. X is measured in seconds. So I just have to put this 0.5 in for x. So let's try it. I have h equals negative 16 x, and I'm going to insert that 0.5 squared plus 16 times 0.5. Keep going with this. I have h equals a negative 16 times 0.25 after you square it plus 8. Keep going. H equals a negative 4 plus 8. And so h equals a positive, and it's not going to be 8, it's going to be 4. H equals a positive 4 what? 4 feet. And so the height after the ball is kicked after 0.5 seconds is 4 feet. So it's not a very high kick, but it must be quick. So that does it for section 8.5, part 2, using the distributive property. Good day.